Clapping along are the fans with the sure thing Mark Sherman. He grabs Taven. Penmanship grabs Fury. The champ and the #1 contender battling it out. Center of the ring here in Woburn at Cold Fury Fallout. Taven and Marsalia double teaming Mark Sherman. Look out, boom! Drops him right on his head. Slade just pinned the champion. Here are your winners, the team of Thomas Penmanship, Mark Sherman, and Scotty Slade.
Welcome to the historic Littleton Opera House. The Cold Fury Fallout is in full effect last night in Woburn and tonight in Littleton. As you just saw, Team Friendship rebounded from their loss at Cold Fury 13 in a 6-man tag team match last night in Woburn, where Scotty Slade pinned Brian Fury. Thomas Penmanship got involved in that match to even up the odds, and we know he won the Chaotic Countdown match with a guaranteed title shot anytime he chooses. But we have big championship news coming for the last stop on the Cold Fury Fallout Tour, April 25th in Lowell. My colleague, Mr. PM Pat Mathews, is standing by with Scotty Slade.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back on the reporting scene. Pat Mathews here with Scotty Slade, and I just got word, April 25th, Lowell, Massachusetts, you get another title shot against Brian Fury. Your thoughts?
You know, these past few months have been a little ridiculous. I allowed that Chaotic Wrestling heavyweight title to get between me and my best friend Mark Sherman. And this whole time, Brian Fury's been plucking those strings. Brian Fury's been getting in the head of not only me, not only Mark Sherman, but the fans of Chaotic Wrestling. Brian, at Cold Fury 13, it took me going through a table for you to get me out of that match. And now I have an opportunity to face you one-on-one in Lowell for something that means more to me than it'll ever mean to you. Because that Chaotic Wrestling title, it says something. It proves to everybody else in New England that I matter. I'm the smallest guy that this company's ever seen, and I'm gonna prove a point by having that title around my waist. In Woburn, Mass, in that 6-man, I pinned you, Brian. You didn't pin me. So I want you to think about that. Because this whole time, you've been talking trash, you've been belittling me, you've been saying I don't matter. But I pinned you for 3, and you haven't touched me once. So in Lowell, Massachusetts, Pat, April 25th, this guy, Scotty Slade, is going to be the new Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. And finally show Brian Fury, and everyone who's ever doubted me, that I'm the true Chaotic Heavyweight Champion.
The all-new ChaoticWrestling.com is your place to find all the latest Chaotic Wrestling news and information on upcoming events. The blog section features columns written by many Chaotic personalities and superstars. You can also shop for Chaotic Wrestling merchandise, DVDs, and tickets to upcoming events. All at ChaoticWrestling.com.
On his partner. Up and over. Oh, Brian lands on his feet. Fist to the head. Another one. That table's right under Brian Logan. He came back with a forearm. Look out. Reed's got the foot. Down goes Scott Reed at the hands of Brian Logan. Oh, no. They're battling on the outside. Brian saying that's it. What's he going to try and do? Pile drive him through that table? Oh, there's the powder. The powder that the Logans have used so many times. Oh, God. The carnage outside the ring. Got him. Scott Reed and Brandon Locke, successful first title defense here tonight in Woburn at the Cold Fury Fallout Tour. Thumb and all, Scott Reed came out and helped make the difference right there. He wasn't technically in the match, but he was in the match.
The Logan brothers were defeated last night in a Woburn street fight at the hands of Scott Reed and Brandon Locke. Now, Scott Reed was not medically cleared to be in that match due to a broken hand, but he found a way to get involved. and ensure victory, and that they would remain the Chaotic Wrestling Tag Team Champions. And speaking of championships, the longest reigning Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight Champion of all time, the Kingpin, Brian Malonis, returned tonight to Littleton, New Hampshire to face one-on-one his biggest detractor, Donovan Dijak, for the first time ever. Let's take a look at the closing moments of that intense match.
Taven and Marcel, no! Oh my God, no! What the hell, Taven? What is this? Marcelia helps the referee. You gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me. As the house lights come up, Brian Fury has captured the heavyweight title.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm your lead anchor for Chaotic Action News, Mr. PM Pat Mathews, and I'm on scene with a man that had a tough loss at Cold Fury but proved himself a worthy competitor tonight. He beat the big bad Donovan Dijak.
You know, Pat, I'm probably the best person to talk about this, but I found out in my career that all good things come to an end, all winning streaks come to an end. Dijak found that out firsthand tonight. I went undefeated for 2 years. I'm still the longest undefeated streak in the history of Chaotic. I made good on that tonight, but you're right. You're right. Before tonight, the last time that I was in a Chaotic wrestling ring, I lost. I lost a grudge match. I lost a feud to a man that I really, really, really want more than anything in this world to beat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this time, I'm going to take this second that we have right here, and I want to challenge Warbeard. I want to challenge Hanson. I said it after Cold Fury in an interview. I said that wasn't the end of it. I wasn't going down to falling off a rope. I wasn't going down to a shoulder block into an exposed turnbuckle. I wasn't going down to a hurt head. No, I wasn't going down like that. Too much blood, too much sweat, too many tears to go down to Hanson like that. So here's what I propose. Here's what I propose, Warbeard. I propose you and I, one more time. That's all I ask. One more time. You and I, we get in a ring, we get in an alley, we get behind a dumpster. I don't care where we are. One more time. We fight. We have a wrestling match. We have rules. We don't have rules. We have pins. We don't have pins. We have countouts. It doesn't matter, Warbeard. One more time. Because I need something now. I've got something to prove. Leading up to Cold Fury, you talked about how you were on a losing streak and it was my fault. You were cursed and it was my fault. I'm feeling a little bit of the same thing. I may have kicked that tonight. But one more time. One more time. Me and you. One-on-one. Whatever kind of match you want. Whatever stipulation. I beg you. Meet me face to face and give me my chance at vindication.
Sean Burke is eyeing a rematch with Hanson with the rulebook thrown out the window after their Cold Fury 13 rematch here tonight at the Littleton Opera House. I hope we get to see that match very soon. And how about Julian Starr? What a great return weekend for him. 2 victories after a near career-ending neck surgery. And he said that he plans on being the next Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight Champion before this year is out. And speaking of which, Brian Fury just heard that he will face Scotty Slade on April 25th in Lowell. Let's go backstage to hear from the current champion.
Scotty Slade, Scotty Slade, Scotty Slade. You keep talking this big game. Which is very surprising to me since you're such a little man. I told you did not belong in the Cole Fury main event and I proved it. Sure, Woburn, 6-man tag, you got the pin on me. But this belt is still right here. So April 25th in Woburn, there will be no more excuses. You and I, one-on-one, face-to-face for the Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. What are your excuses going to be when I defeat you that night in the center of the ring? What are you going to whine, cry, and complain about after I destroy you in the middle of Lowell? What's going to be left of you in general after that match? You see, I have bigger things on my plate. Everybody is gunning for me. I'm the Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. You are nothing more but a little thorn in my side. And I'm sick and tired of it. So in Lowell, Massachusetts, Scotty Slade, I will end you.
Chaotic Wrestling brings the Cole Fury Fallout Tour to Lowell, Massachusetts, Friday, April 25th at 8 p.m. at the Polish American Veterans Club. In the main event, the Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight title is on the line as the firebrand Brian Fury defends one-on-one against that guy, Scotty Slade. April 25th sees a colossal Cole Fury grudge match as the Kingpin Brian Malonis clashes with Donovan Dijak. Two chaotic favorites collide as Mikey Webb faces Julian Starr, who's returning to Lowell for the first time in over a year. Plus, Ilya the Great makes his first Chaotic Wrestling appearance in 9 months. And much, much more. The Cole Fury Fallout continues as Fury meets Slade for the Chaotic Wrestling title, Friday night, April 25th at the Polish American Veterans Club, 201 Coburn Street in Lowell.
I'm joined now by Pat Mathews, that is what you're calling yourself now. It's been a great weekend, and we're going to end the Cole Fury Fallout Tour in a big way on April 25th.
Whatever you say, Tim, I don't know if you heard the big news, but Pat Mathews over here just became the lead anchor of Chaotic Action News, so you should probably just step aside and let me run down the headlines from this weekend. Let's start from the top. April 25th in Lowell, the match has been announced. Heavyweight champ Brian Fury's putting his title on the line against Scotty Slade. But what about Mark Sherman? He's the former champ. He should be getting a title shot. Do I see tension brewing in Friendship once again? And what about that big doofus Dijak? He's been calling out Malonis for the past 5 months now. He can't get the job done. Malonis can't get the job done either. As in Littleton, they went toe-to-toe and ended in a no contest, but I'm sure we'll see more for those two in the future. And how can we not forget, Ilya the Great is returning. Will we see him being Ilya the Great? Or Ilya the... meh? Wait. Am I getting this? This just in. Hansen is no longer brand new or bad. He's transformed himself into the Warbeard. And what about that wannabeard Sean Burke? He can't seem to get the job done either. He's lost to Hansen 2 times in a row. He wants Hansen again, and I think he just may get it.
And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Chaotic Wrestling New England champion, Chase Del Monte. He's been on a hot streak lately, and he defeated Adam Booker tonight to retain the New England Championship.
You know, I don't know who this Chase guy is. Apparently, he's a friend of my predecessor. But whoever he is, he did not earn that belt. He does not deserve the belt.
Speaking of titles, on April 25th in Lowell, it's going to be Scotty Slade challenging Brian Fury for the Heavyweight Championship. So don't forget to get your tickets now at ChaoticWrestling.com. I'm Tom Jarvis, and for Mr. PM...
Whoa. I told you before, I do my own outro. For Tim Jarvis, I'm Mr. PM Pat. Shut up. I'm Mr. PM Pat Mathews, and we'll see you April 25th in Lowell.
And on the next ChaotiCast.